Billy got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face, powered by FullPressCoverage.com. Go there for all your sporting wants and needs, where I am sure there will be wall-to-wall coverage of the NFL draft coming up this Thursday, and they'd have to talk about the improbable New York Knicks victory last night over the 76ers, down 5 points with 37 seconds left. They Reggie Millered them motherfuckers.
Heard they cheated.
Yeah, that's what 76ers fans would say.
I watched the replay. I don't know what I was doing last night. I watched the end of the Lakers game, the fourth quarter. I don't know what I was doing in the Knicks game. I can't even remember.
I was watching the Knicks game on my phone because my girlfriend was watching something else. You know how that goes. I was at her house, so it was a road game last night. So I fucking take over the TV. So I was watching on my phone, and they were down, and Brunson had just missed a shot. Philly had the ball, and I tweeted out like, Brunson's not playing that good tonight. Like, he's got to step up the next game. They should be up 2-0. And as I typed that, he hits a three-pointer. They steal the inbounds, miss a three, get the rebound, hit another three. Before I could even hit send, they're up one. Like, the shit happened so fast. And Embiid just looks awful.
Like, he had 33 points.
Yeah, but he looks like rebounding and shit like that. Like, the Knicks are killing him on the boards.
I mean, when you think of Embiid, you don't think of like prolific rebound. He's not a slouch.
He can touch the rim without jumping.
I mean, he should. Height-wise, I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm thinking of rebound is. I take Giannis over him easily.
He should get every rebound. He's getting outworked by, like, lunch pail guys. You know what I mean? Like, these are just, nobody know these motherfuckers unless you're a diehard New York Knicks fan.
Yeah, man. I guess that's how the ball drops, so to speak. No pun intended.
Lakers with an all-time collapse yesterday.
Yeah, how you be down up 20 and lose the game like that, even though, fouls weren't called, but you can't expect to get calls away, even though it's bullshit, but still.
LeBron was balling.
Yeah, man.
Damn
near 40.
Disappeared in the second half.
What's that?
Anthony Davis disappeared in the second half. He was unstoppable in the first half, and then he just, like, that nigga went home early.
He's got, like, all the talent in the world as far as big man, but for some reason it doesn't seem like his motor is always running at 100.
Yeah. It was definitely 50 last night, and it was 50 in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wish the Lakers would pull it off, man. LeBron is up there in age. I'm not a fan of the Nuggets. I don't know. I'm not a Jokic fan. Sorry, Joey DeLorme, but it just doesn't excite me when I'm playing. But down 0-2, it's probably for them to come back now.
Yeah, the Nuggets aren't an exciting team to watch, but it was fun watching them win last year, if that makes sense. Because, like, they've never won in my lifetime. Like, the biggest thing they ever did was when they beat the Supersonics in the first round back in the day. And
when Mutombo was on the ground with the ball.
Yeah, with the ball with his mouth open. That's like the only thing I can remember the Nuggets doing, because Carmelo only got them to the conference finals like once, I think.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. I don't even know if Iverson was on that team. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be interesting if the Knicks won it, even though growing up I hated Ewing and those boys. But Knicks is like the Knicks and the Cowboys are like two of the most popular teams as far as like making money and value that are in droughts. I can't
Yeah.
think of any more popular teams than
I'm a
Knicks and
fucking fan of both of them.
exactly.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
all
yeah.
my teams had droughts. Like the Bulldogs didn't win since 1980. The Braves didn't win since 96 before they won a couple years ago. So like I was just in sports fucking hell.
Purgatory. Yeah, it'd be exciting. I don't think that anybody's gonna get past the Celtics, but you never know.
I mean, I feel like I know it's stupid to say now because the Knicks are actually in the playoffs and football season hadn't started. But I feel like the Knicks have a better shot at winning before the Cowboys do.
I agree with that too. Hold up, is Nolan still ahead of the Knicks?
Yeah, he is.
Dolan or Dolan? I mean James Dolan. He still is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know now because he's
He ain't got,
incompetent too.
he's a dumbass, but he's gotten out the way the last couple years.
Okay, well if he's gotten out of the way, yeah, you're right, and I can see the Knicks winning it. They got a young core. I think Julius Randle would have been icing on the cake, even though you're not a Randle fan.
That's why they're gonna win. Julius Randle's hurt. We getting it all this year, baby. He ain't out there to fuck it up.
I don't know. It's gonna be exciting to watch, especially in the next round.
I feel like Julius Randle is like how I get mad at people that say Dak can't win the championship and he plays bad in the playoff. That's how I feel about Julius Randle. And people are like, "Oh, it wasn't his fault. Like this went wrong." And I'm like, "Fuck him." I don't care in the regular season. Every playoffs he sucks.
Hey, I can't argue against that, but I mean, I feel like it'd be better if you had him than not have him. You know,
I
still
want
all star.
I want to agree with you, but I've watched them the last 2 years in the playoffs. Like fuck up big time. So we'll see. I like my boy Josh Hart, and he wears John Stark's number 3. He's light skinned. It like not the best player on the team, but he fucking hustles and does all the dirty work. He's literally the new age John Starks.
Fouled Maxi on that last play and then called it.
They thought it wasn't a foul.
Touche, touche.
Um, yeah, that's all we got for sports. Fullpresscoverage.com. Go there for better talk than what we did. I just guessed. EJ,
Yes,
you were
sir.
in St. Louis last weekend, home of the Cardinals, home of the
Blues.
Blues, home of the worst fucking highway system in this great country, home of the most fucked up looking buildings and shit show of a town.
I mean, I
I was
I,
I
I
was
think
going
Kansas City's highway is a little more confusing than St. Louis. That was
I just
highway.
meant, like the garbage on them and the
Oh,
fucking condition that they're in. Ugh.
hey,
But
I get it. I get in, do what I need to do in the city, and get out of there.
yeah, you didn't stay the night. You drove back
Nah,
home.
man.
What was that, 2 hour drive?
Hour and 45. So yeah, basically,
After a fucking marathon AEW show? Boy, you a bad man.
I had to work. Maybe if I didn't have to work, I had to work the next day.
And you went to work the next day? Where did
Indeed.
you sleep?
Hey, I was sleeping. I was daydreaming about sleeping on driving back. I,
It's
you
not
know,
saying.
I was able to. I was able to handle it. I'm here today. That's all that matters, right?
You got there. I think you texted me. You said you were parking was fucked up or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, that like I know why they do St. Louis University. That's what they did. SLU. It's about a 10,000 seat arena,
Billikens.
huh?
Billikens.
Yeah, I never heard of that mascot in my life until I think they mentioned it on AEW. I think when I was standing in the traffic, I was watching the pre-show on my phone while I was sitting in the traffic, 0 hour or whatever. But yeah, it's like a 10,000 seat arena, and the parking is just all they have. The main parking is just one garage. That's like a 3-story garage. That's basically where everybody parked. They got a few parking lots surrounded it, but those were already full. I would have rather parked like on the outside parking lot, but it was full, and they only had like one of them out there. It's just not a good setup for parking wise because it's on like a university campus, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Um,
But getting out of it wasn't that bad, shockingly, because we'll get to the actual show. But as soon as it was over, like I was power walking, like basically almost even I wasn't running, but I was heavily power walking towards the car because I didn't want people to get ahead of me. Because I had to park all the way at the top. Like I said, it took forever to park, get there. When it took like 30 minutes sitting in that traffic before I parked. But so I was at the top. I'm like, man, it's gonna be already people going out of it. But it wasn't that many people leaving yet. Because I guess I was sprinting and people were still in the arena celebrating, I guess, or we're not. Maybe Tony came out afterward. I don't know. And so it was like only maybe like two people leaving on the top, very top, and it was packed. And then so I probably had to wait like another 15 minutes after that, or maybe 10. And I was able to get out of there. I'm like, man, thank the Lord.
It's like you've been to wrestling shows. You know good and hell well you're gonna outrun 90% of the wrestling fans there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You got to compete with are the fucking wrestlers.
Pretty much. You said it. I didn't say it. But
So how
yeah,
man, this was your second AEW pay-per-view in a row. Was it compared to me with Revolution?
I
As
mean, nothing's gonna top the atmosphere of Sting's last match, but it was comparable.
yeah.
I mean, it was sold out. I always said that before. Like they don't have a problem with attendance at pay-per-views. It's just week to week. I think it's mostly a collision problem splitting that audience up, but we won't get in that. But yeah, it was a good atmosphere. The fans were excited. And yeah, man.
The reason I said compared to Revolution is because I saw a lot of scuttlebutt online about how this was the best AEW pay-per-view since like Double or Nothing 2021. And
They said it about Revolution last month.
I thought Revolution was their best pay-per-view, but I was also there. So if I haven't went back and watched but one match on there, but I thought Revolution was phenomenal. Um, but again, I haven't gone back and watched it, so it could be a prisoner of the moment type thing that people are saying that. But yeah, everybody's saying this is their best pay per view they've had in years. Now they said Revolution was the best pay per view they've ever had, but then people are also saying this was better than Revolution. So as a guy that was at both of them, like I was just trying to see if you could decipher which one you thought was better or they were about equal.
Man, that's a good question. And maybe I would give it a nod to Revolution, but like you said, I gotta go back and watch it because one big stain on the other pay per view, and we'll get into it, was the whole Jericho deal. That didn't need to be on the show. But then you had that like what was it like the monster mash, not the monster mash, but like the scramble on Revolution, and that was probably like an unnecessary. I think another one involving Jericho. Now I think about it,
Yeah, he was in that one too.
looks like we see the common denominator. Like, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
have to go back. Just the Sting moment. I'm biased though, because I think the Sting moment probably
Yeah.
is the reason I picked Revolution.
I think the anticipation of Sting coming out wrestling his last match and then how good that match was and he actually won, that kind of if you were there, I think that kind of skews your vision of it a little bit. But you still had Osprey versus Takeshita. Now
Yeah.
that wasn't as good as Osprey and Bryan probably. Uh,
Mm-mm.
Swerve actually won the world title at this one. He didn't win, but it was a triple threat that was still a good match. Tony versus Thunder Rosa was probably better than Tony versus Diana.
It was.
Um, and there was only one women's match at Revolution. So there was still just some good shit at Revolution, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It
I
was
guess it'd probably be whatever mood I'm in, I guess, but I'm still giving it the Revolution right now. I have to go back and watch Dynasty. I hadn't watched any replays yet.
I mean, we've talked about it before. You just said it a second ago. AEW has no problem with their pay per view programming. The, the issue I have though is like that Osprey and Bryan match, for example. That's a great match, right?
Hmm.
But imagine if you had like a story connected to it, besides like I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you, right? Like it was just so hot shotted. It seemed like for a match, like that match was so good. It seems like it should have had like a 6 month build to it, where you could have picked a side, like. And I wasn't there. I can't speak for the people that were, but I feel like the majority of people that were there watching that match, they weren't really cheering for anybody. They were just cheering for the match.
But that's what AEW is as a company at this point, and it is what it is. I guess it's working for them. Maybe they don't want to grow as far as the storytelling goes. But I also say this, that in a larger sense, AEW doesn't really have like heels and baby faces right now. Like what true heel they have except Don Callis, maybe.
The one they had, they just turned babyface and made him a world champion.
Yeah, him. MJF, they turned him into a baby face. Um, yeah, I can't think of like just the system overall is why I guess you didn't really see that story. Like you said, no, you didn't have nobody to cheer for. They were just cheering for both of them, really. But as far as like storytelling going into the match, I get it, but they also trying to tell a more subtle story. But in the match, this happened to be like in the middle of it, if that makes sense. Because they're trying to play like the long game with Callis, and Will Ospreay. I guess Will Ospreay eventually getting kicked out or him, turning on him.
Yeah. The reason I bring up the story thing is because immediately after uh what's the name of Dynasty was over, I see like more than one tweets and said which match was better, Osprey versus Bryan or Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania.
I mean, that's apples and oranges. Cody and Roman surrounded by a 3-year story. Of course, the in ring in Osprey and Danielson was amazing, but the story incorporated with uh Cody and Roman makes it like a all time great moment. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. Imagine you had a 6-month build instead of a 6-week build for Danielson and Osprey, and there's like feelings involved, and people have chosen sides. Like, I was a Roman guy, right? Like Cody's my guy, but I wanted Roman to win. The majority of people wanted Cody to win. So you got fucking a headlock takeovers getting a reaction if Cody's doing it because people are like, fuck yeah, get him, Cody. These motherfuckers were like trying to kill each other, and people. If Brian would have won, I think the crowd would have popped just as loud as if Osprey won. Like I don't know. There's something about watching a match that good, but not having any kind of like this is who I want to win in it. Like there's no point in me watching a really good basketball game if I don't give a fuck who wins. It could go to triple overtime and I'm bored.
yeah, I get it, especially if you gravitate towards the storyline aspect of it. And I mean, I also probably kind of get why they wanted to do it now because I think this is Brandonson's last full year as a full-time performer. So maybe he feel like he didn't have time to do like a overarching storyline like that. I mean, you could have did something like that and maybe blow it off at Full Gear, maybe if you wanted to play the long game like you were talking about.
That's a good point, and it's also like as I'm saying it's a good point, I'm also thinking in my head, like, that's a bullshit excuse too. But not from you, but from AEW. But you think about it, like they never did Cody versus Punk while they had both of them there. Um, Cody versus Omega. Like, there's a bunch of matches Cody didn't do, and before you know it, he's fucking going out of the company. There's a bunch of matches Punk didn't do. Before you know it, he's gone. Like, so I get it. Like, I'm sure Tony's looking at it like, yeah, I could build this for a year, but then what? Like, I wanted to build stuff with Omega, and he's got fucking diverticulitis, and now he might not even come back. Like, I'm sure Tony's looking at it like, I'm already impatient. Like, I can't sit still already, and y'all want me to build a 6-month storyline? Nah, fuck that. They're wrestling on Dynamite.
Yeah. And I feel like even though Danielson is still at the top of his game as far as entering, and I'm sure he has to have some rest in between it, more rest than he did back in 10 years ago or so. But I feel like they should probably build Osprey, like you said, a slow build to somebody almost more his pair, like build him and Swerve up like that. Some two people that could use it to build like that, build 2 stars out of it. Danielson is already cemented, so that's probably why you could just throw a match out like that.
I mean, he said it already. He doesn't want to be champion. He doesn't want to do any of that shit. He just wants to wrestle really good matches with people. So I guess Tony's just letting him do what he wants.
Yeah, man. That that match was fantastic. Like they were able to follow up somehow the two matches after that, but the arena was in a frenzy, man. That's the
Yeah.
best match I've seen in person.
Imagine you're the Bucks and FTR, and that shit just goes down. Like what the
Man,
fuck you supposed to do with that?
they probably took it as a challenge though, and
Mm.
it took the arena like probably like a third of the match to finally get into it, but then they finally started getting into it. So some other matches would have been dead on arrival, but they were able to get the fans back up. So hats off to them for that.
We'll go through and talk about a couple of the matches from Dynasty. We don't have to hit all of them, but I do think Roderick Strong, Jericho, and even the 6-man match with Edge and all of them, I don't think those matches were necessary. Like they just, I looked up and it was 9:15, and there had only been 2 matches going on, and the other people were making their way out to the ring. I was like, man, we're gonna be here all night. Like I would love for somebody in one of those press conferences to just ask Tony, like, is there a is there some kind of data or research that shows that strategically a Sunday night pay per view is better than a Saturday night pay per view? Because if it's Saturday night, man, we could do this all fucking night. Like, I ain't got to go to work tomorrow. Stay up till 1 o'clock watching wrestling if it's good, you know. But Sunday night, I gotta be up at 4:30, bro. Like, let's get a move on.
Yeah, I don't know why they switched over to Sunday for the majority of the pay per views because they used to do Saturdays more. Only time they do Saturdays now is football season, understandably. But yeah, I don't know why he's got his foot down on that. Maybe it's schedule. Oh, probably because of Collision, I guess. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They change Collision all the time. I'm just going off the top of my head. They put Collision on different days sometimes when they have to. But okay, fine. You won't stay on Sunday. We don't need 9 matches.
We don't.
You
Like
know, I don't. At the main event, I don't want to be like, fuck, man. I'm so excited about this match, but I wish it was like 10:30 instead of 11:30. Like, and you're just looking at the clock the whole time. Like I want to be in the moment.
you need to have it in close to 11 on East Coast.
Yeah,
There's no reason it should be on till midnight.
and then on top of that, like you didn't watch Revolution on pay per view. I went back and I looked at everybody complaining on Twitter. Sting's retirement speech got cut off because they ran over so long. You have Adam Cole coming out this week, stands up out of the wheelchair, and like, I don't know if there was supposed to be an angle, but it got rushed, right? Like, Danielson, you thought he was paralyzed. They go show the replay a couple times, and you come back, he's not even in the fucking ring anymore because they got to rush him out of the ring now. Like, you can't even run a proper angle because you just got so much shit on this show that you're afraid you're about to run out of time on pay per view again.
And I understand early on the company, you only got 4 pay-per-views a year. You want everybody to get that pay-per-view rep, but they added so many pay-per-views. I don't understand why. Like you said, that Edge match didn't need to be on there. Of course, that Jericho match, we'll get into that. And then Kyle O'Reilly and Roger Strong, that ended up being better than I thought it was going to be. It was a good match, but that could have been a main event on a Collision or a Rampage or Dynamite. Open a Dynamite up.
Yeah, it was a great match. Like you said, it could have been on Rampage. Like, we didn't need that there. Um, I just want to point this out. You had one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. You had 9 matches on the show.
That's including pre-show, or that's just the main card.
Show. All right.
Mm.
Only 2 matches weren't for a title.
That doesn't bother me so much.
That means you have 7 titles on one show. That
Yeah, you maybe don't have to throw all the champions on one show, especially a
look,
dynasty.
I'm gonna blow your mind though. 7 of the 9 matches were title matches, right? One of the non-title matches was Will Ospreay versus Daniel Bryan. Cool. No titles involved. The other match involved Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston. All three of these motherfuckers have a title.
So technically, it could have been for a title. 'Cause,
Kingston's got two belts.
he's
How
down
many
to
belts these motherfuckers got?
Kingston's down to one, but I
Oh,
get it.
he lost another one.
He lost ROH to Mark Briscoe, remember?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. And I'm glad they got rid of a belt on a pre-show. They unified the 6 man, so less belts. It's a good thing.
I'm just ready for the ROH titles to go away. I'm ready for that fucking FTW title to go away because
That's not a real title. Yeah, it's not sanctioned. I mean, I don't mind ROH titles being there if it's its own separate thing. I don't need to see them on AEW TV. I've been saying that since they bought the company. I don't want to see the ROH. You don't see NXT belts on WWE. Like once in a blue moon, you might see the champion come up on TV, but then, as far as everything else, it's separate things. So if you're gonna have ROH, have it a separate thing. I don't need to see those belts on AEW TV.
And then on the pre-show, they didn't even have any women's matches, but you got Matt Sydal versus Trent Beretta. Trent just turned on the best friends. Why is he wrestling Matt Sydal and not Orange Cassidy or uh Sexy Chucky T?
I get it. They just wanted to fill the pre-show out. I get. I don't really care about the pre-show, but as far as that main card, like you said, you're on a strict time constraint on the pay-per-view. So get that down to 7 matches, and you're good.
All right, let's run through these matches real quick. The trios match, I don't really care to talk about it if you don't.
I want to see what they could do with now that the Guns have the Bullet Club Gold have the trios belts.
I was talking about the trios match on the main.
Main card. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, skip that. That could have been on Collision.
Edge did get beat though by Aleister Black.
Like you said, Aleister Black doesn't really wrestle singles matches, so I'm curious to see where they go with that one.
FTW Championship, nobody cares. Jericho hit Hook in the face with the title. What they do?
Oh well, how about the go away heat that Jericho had?
Ooh, how was that in person?
Oh, it was bad. Like it wasn't like playful. Like they really would just want Jericho to go away. They were saying, "Go home, Fozzy sucks. You should retire," in like a malicious way.
Fuck the fans. Let me tell you why. You cocksuckers been singing Judas for 4 fucking years, and now all of a sudden Fozzy sucks.
Well, maybe they were blinded by Judas. He used Judas as a crush, kind of like Seth uses his theme song. Now that he doesn't have it, even coming out the Lionheart, they're like, "Wait a minute, why are you here?"
What's that got to do with Judas? Y'all been singing the shit out of that song for 4 years.
True. I guess you're true. You're right.
And now all of a sudden Fozzy sucks. Goddamn drummer for Fozzy sitting there. What the fuck did I do? Look like 50 Cent in that meme.
Yeah. Aside from the Fozzy sucks chant, we've been saying this for a while. Like Jericho just sucks the life out of any program he's in for the past, I say 3 years, but definitely 2 years. Like what?
Jericho was good that first year of AEW, and after that, it was just like, what is he even doing here?
I enjoyed the Max, the Inner Circle, the Max group stuff, and then after that, all right, what are we doing? So you think they're gonna lean into it even more, or Jericho could take a clue? I say either retire or go back to WWE.
Maybe Tony needs to take the clue and just tell him, go home, dude.
I wonder how Jericho feels. You know, he has the most fragile ego. I wonder if he's just like in denial or if he got his feelings hurt. I hope he got his feelings hurt.
Wait till January 6th next year.
He's going ham on January 6th. I might be Canadian. I'm turning this motherfucker out.
Right now, yeah. AEW Continental Championship, Pac versus Okada. I love this match.
Oh, yeah.
Started out slow. I think I texted you. I said, man, this match is sucking so far. And right when I text you that, shit picked up.
Hey, Okada did a perfect job of getting the fans to start booing them, flicking everybody off.
Yeah, he was
That's
about
all.
to do the little Rainmaker sign, and they were waiting on it. And he just flipped him the bird.
Yeah, when he was getting fuck you Okada chance after that. I'm like, good job.
Yeah. That was a good match, won by Okada. Cheated a little bit. Pac, man, he just his attitude is all wrong for his finishing move.
But that Black Arrow,
Yeah, he's like a heel. He's supposed to be a bastard and hate everything. Like the brutalizer should just be his move.
yeah,
Does that fucking somersault, twisty, dippity shit in the air? It's like that's not a heel move.
he's got the move. He's already got the submission finisher. Yeah, like you said, he should just take the top rope move out of the equation.
Or go up to the top rope like he's gonna do it and fucking do what Okada did, flip everybody off and then just get down and put him in the brutalizer. That'd be
But
a good.
Pac has always been an interesting character wise because the groupies in Death Triangle, the other two guys are faces, and he's the heel out of the group. It's just weird.
Like the inverse of Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, basically. So, like you said, he doesn't need that move. But yeah, I don't know his like visa situation because you always see him dip out. I know sometimes injury and then pop back in. I just would like to see him, consistently. It's not like when he's not in the company they book him bad. It's not like Miro, like where we don't know what the hell's going on. But because whenever Pac is in it, he's doing good stuff. But it seems like he dips away every now and then.
TBS Championship match. Willow Nightingale defeats Julia Hart in 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a little longer. I mean, it didn't seem like a squash or anything, but did you hear that they said Julia may be hurt? So maybe that played a factor into it.
Yeah, she's been rumors of she's been hurt for a while, but she's also been wrestling. I think we talked about it last week. They had that mixed tag match, and Julia only came in like the last couple of seconds of it to slap the submission on her. But if she is hurt, she still worked the. It was a strong little 8 minute match. Like it wasn't like they were bullshitting. So
Yeah, man.
I've
Hats off to Willow. Um, It'd be a shame though if they have her win it just for Mercedes to win it next month.
yeah I've come around on Julia Hart, man.
I didn't
She
know you didn't like doing.
oh this is like months ago. I didn't like her to begin with, but like the last maybe 6 to 8 months, I've been like, she's improved a lot.
Hmm.
That entrance is dope as shit in person.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I didn't know you didn't like her in the beginning though.
Now at the beginning, when she was like the little cheerleader
Oh,
type thing, and I was just like, yeah,
I was just indifferent because she was like in the jobber group.
yeah.
But all the stuff she's been doing in House of Black, I dig it. Like you said, she's improving in the ring. I mean, that's definitely something you should build on. The younger woman, and hopefully Sasha and Willow and those girls will elevate them. The Julias and the Sky Blues.
I'm intrigued by the storyline with Willow, Mercedes, and Chris Statlander. I really feel like Chris Statlander is the one to jump both of them.
Yeah, did you see that? Did they show it on TV? When Statlander got in the ring, she was like she's about to pounce on Willow, perched up like she was about to hit
Yeah,
her.
they did the best friends hug though. But I
Okay.
heard the crowd react because the camera was on Stokely, and I
Mhm.
heard the crowd react. And when the camera zoomed out, Statlander was just standing in the other corner. I was like, oh, they're gonna do the hug. But the crowd was acting like Statlander had a chair or something like that. So when they showed Statlander on TV and I saw her just standing there, I was like, the fuck were they freaking out about?
Oh, so maybe that's an
So
Easter egg for the crowd.
they
No,
showed her.
she was like cocked back like she's about to hit her.
Oh no shit.
She was like about to pounce like in a how the rock used to set up for the
Yeah.
rock bottom. She's like pounce out like that.
I could be wrong. It was getting kind of late, but I swear that when they showed her on TV, she was standing in the corner and her and Stokely came in and hugged her at the same time. But the crowd made a fucking reaction and I was like, oh shit, Statlander's about to turn on her.
Maybe
And
they did it on purpose for where the TV you couldn't see it, but in the crowd she was like acting like she was about to pounce on her.
it was an AEW production fuck up again.
I know I like it if they have it like if you had to be there to see the cracks in it.
If that's what they're doing. I
True.
do that. Um Or maybe it was just, you know, happenstance that it happened that way.
Because I want to say the lights were low when she did it. The lights were low because they're celebrating Willow. I might be wrong. I have to go back and look.
Willow and Mercedes at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I'm hoping because Mercedes doesn't need a secondary title. I'm hoping maybe interference or something that causes the match, and then they spin off and do something else with Mercedes.
I set the guys trip in Vegas 1 week too late.
I noticed that.
So mad at myself. I didn't know. I didn't know they were going to be there the previous week. I don't even.
They're there every year that week.
They could have went somewhere else. But that wasn't even in my thought process. But yeah, it sucks that because I've been wanting to go to Double or Nothing in Vegas, but yeah, it was
Yeah, but that would have been a little bit of like a hassle having that in the middle of a guy's trip. You have to stop and go to Double or Nothing.
everybody's leaving on Sunday. I'm staying till Monday.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be by myself Sunday, basically. Well, I won't be myself. It'll be my homeboy Brent that lives out there. Me and him probably go to Top Golf and maybe a brothel. Who knows?
just throw that in there. We'll play some golf. Maybe go to a brothel. Maybe get a steak afterwards. Wait, what was that in between part? Vegas, good times, good times. What happens there stays there, even though they changed the slogan.
Yeah, I still go by it. But yeah, I am excited about Mercedes and Willow to see them actually finish a match without one of them getting hurt. Hopefully, AEW Women's World Championship Thunder Rosa, Lightning Daffodil loses to Timeless Tony Storm. You're in the nether regions.
People complain about it. People in the arena complain about it. Like, I'm nuts. I mean, I'm sure it still hurts for a woman to get hurt there. Not as much as a guy, but still.
I don't have a nut on my fucking hamstring, but if a motherfucker rears back and kicks me in the back of the leg, that shit's gonna hurt. Like, what are you talking about? What if she like entered? You know, what if her foot?
Wow, she must have some pointy toes. Yeah. It was a good match. Like Thunder Rosa surprised me. She came out with no face paint.
Tony, she had face paint on.
And I think that's what it was supposed to be the twist of it because Tony came out with the face paint. So Thunder Rosa was like, I'm not coming out with face paint. But yeah, that was a really good match, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And I don't know what they're built. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I don't know what they're building up to. I hear like you listen to shows or you see what the fans say online that they may be building for Mariah May to be the one that takes Tony Storm down. If they're trying to do that, I'm not with that. Mariah's good and all, but there's levels to it. I think you got a lot of women ahead of her in line. They don't need to hot shot that story.
now it's obviously not the same thing, right? Tony Storm's been a champion for at least 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's gone through a lot of wrestlers and stuff like that. And Mariah May is the one you want. That's like Roman Reigns losing to fucking Dominic.
Or Solo.
Not even solo Dominic. I think Dominic's a good comparison because Dominic's a comedy act, a heel to get a reaction. And so now Mariah May is good, but she's not world champion good yet. And
Not
she's
yet.
though. Yeah, she's still young. And this is no slight against her. Like, I love her act. I think she's fucking hilarious. I think she was when we saw her in Atlanta here, she was so much fun. Like, but she's not a world champion yet. So
And that's what the TBS title is. She'd be perfect for the TBS championship.
yeah. If you're gonna now, I am the same guy that wanted Chelsea Green to win last,
That would have been good. You
but
fully turned around on that.
but Chelsea Green's also been a world champion in another company before.
Man,
She's been on TV for years. You know, Mariah May just got here.
true. I don't even have a counter argument to that.
Honestly, I think Tony Storm's probably gonna lose to Jamie Hayter or Britt Baker.
And you must have been reading my mind because I was gonna say I don't look at dirt sheets and I don't want to be spoiled. I want to be surprised, but that's like the elephant in the room. Where the hell is Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker?
Happy birthday, Jamie Hayter, by the way.
What's her birthday? I feel like it's a few people. Isn't it John Cena's birthday today too?
I don't know. I didn't see him.
Our girl Raina's birthday today from the 80 proof community. Must be a popular birthday.
What's today? The 23rd?
Yeah.
April?
Yes, John Cena's birthday. I saw it on social media.
What is that? July? That means July. All their parents got pregnant.
Yeah, that's my birthday month.
Summertime babies.
The weather's fine.
Yeah. Mom and daddy out on the lake 30 years ago today. And tore
No.
that ass up. Gotta make it weird. Yeah, I do feel like I hope it's Jamie Hayter, not Britt Baker, though. And I hope they finally pay off. Ooh. Fantasy booking just takes over sometimes. What if Jamie Hayter finally comes back
Mhm.
and then Britt Baker turns on her the same night? Like,
Yeah, they still got to tie that story up, right?
yeah, Britt Baker just comes back the same night and turns on her.
I mean, they better not forget about that. Knowing AEW, they probably will, but they got to tie that story up. Yeah,
Speaking of pregnant and stories, Ruby Soho and Angelo are having a real life baby.
I was like, I didn't know they were together in real life. I didn't care to research it. I didn't know they were a couple.
They probably weren't. Fucking storyline, one thing led to another.
Probably.
No,
Um,
I don't know either. You're right.
when I heard that story out, I'm like, I didn't know they were really together. I thought it was storyline, and then I read Wikipedia. We all know how accurate Wikipedia is. They said they've been together since like November. That's still a pretty quick turnaround to get knocked up, right?
It only takes a couple seconds, EJ.
True. That's very true. But hey, congrats to them. Another
You couldn't pull out of the driveway.
less bodies in the women division, but
Yeah, that is, I'm so up and down on Ruby Soho. Like sometimes I look at her and she's wrestling, I'm just like, she could fucking like kill it. Like she'll be doing something, and she'll be having a match. I'll be like, I'm really fucking enjoying this. Like they should push her. And then the very next match, I'm like, why is she even on TV?
I
Like
think she
it's
should
so
go.
hit or miss with her.
I think she'd be good if they ever get tag team women's belts, but she got at least 9 months on the sideline, probably more to that. Yeah, just abandon a newborn baby.
Yeah, nanny. She
Yeah.
she's sucked in every group that she's in too. Like Liv Morgan's won Money in the Bank and been the champion, and the team was called the fucking Riot Squad.
Yeah, but what is Sarah Logan done besides put horns on?
I mean, Liv Morgan outshined her in that group, and then in the Outcast, the other two members have both been AEW champion.
That is true. The Riot Squad is more egregious though, because she was the leader of that, and that was her name in it. But I get it. You make fair points.
Uh, Osprey and Brian. Do we even need to talk about this?
I feel like we touched on it a good bit as much as we did with a tremendous match. I don't think Osprey will put on a bad match.
There's a lot of talk about Osprey and WWE and Triple H fumbled the ball not getting them. I don't think so, because Osprey wouldn't be able to do this in WWE because there's not enough time.
We already did the comparison, like Ricochet, even though Ricochet isn't as big, they could do the same stuff.
But Osprey has to have a match like this every pay per view. He wouldn't have time in WWE to do that. Because
He
what are we
wouldn't.
going to tell Roman Reigns to shorten his entrance up for Will Osprey?
Nah, that ain't happening. Yeah, I mean, like you said, he wouldn't be able to wrestle like that in WWE. They have a system and a style that they stick to, and it's working. Look at how hard WWE is. But yeah, he does wrestle. He doesn't wrestle like he did like at pay-per-views, but he still wrestles Osprey style on TV. But that's not WWE's memo to put that give that out for free on a random
I
Raw.
was going to say, but that's AEW TV.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, like you said, WWE it just wasn't the timing. maybe after his contract up is in 5 years or however long he signed it for, he'll go over there, and then at that point, he'll maybe just have him skip the mid card titles and have him to the top. But he's still 31, 32. He's still young. But
This
like you
guy
said,
flies to
he go
England
ahead.
he flies to England every week and go back home.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I know we don't know the answer to this, but you think Tony's paying for those flights or he
Of
is?
course he is. I think I may have heard that that's in his contract that travel is compensated for. But when you're flying that much, you could get on like a buddy pass system where you pay like a flat rate, maybe 5, 6, 7,000 per year, and you can fly back and forth.
From
So
Europe to America?
it depends if you're doing East Coast.
Huh.
That's your hub. I might be underselling it, but it probably definitely ain't more than 10K. And so
I
he's
would
calling him $1 million contract.
in an 8-hour flight one way.
The time would be more concerning to me, more so than the money. Like I get tired of being on the plane, but he says he wants to be based out of there. And another comparison I make that just like this wouldn't have worked in WWE. I feel like it's like a Cody comparison. Like people saying Cody shouldn't have went over to WWE. AEW fucked up by not holding him. If Cody stayed in AEW, he would have never got as big as he is right now. So
WWE wrestler.
exactly. So
Cody wouldn't have had a match with Will Ospreay the way Brian did, or Takeshita. Cody's a storytelling wrestler. Like his best matches in AEW were against his brother, against MJF was a really good match. All the other matches where it was just straight wrestling, they weren't as good, which is one of the reasons people probably turned on Cody because he's a storytelling wrestler. AEW ain't got time for that shit.
yeah. Now I do believe if for some reason once Cody's contract is up now and he goes back there, I feel like that would be a huge bump for AEW overall. If Cody went back one day,
Honestly,
now that he's Cody.
I wouldn't mind it, but yeah, I don't know. You think Cody's big enough right now to where if he went back to AEW, a lot of his fans would go too?
Oh yeah,
You think so?
I think it'd be automatic 100K in viewership. I don't think like
I meant
three.
like in person, like
Oh,
the tickets would be a lot cheaper. That'd be one because AEW's tickets are much cheaper than WWE. The buildings are smaller, so you'd get a little more intimate feel of it. I feel like if Cody went back to AEW right now, like they'd probably start selling out all these buildings.
I don't. Maybe I don't want to say sell out, but he'd increase it.
I mean, they're in like 3,000 seat arenas.
He maybe increase it to consistent 4 or 5. But he's like the only. It's only like I think 3 people that are, I guess, semi currently involved in wrestling that could go over there and just like change business completely over there. He's on a lower level. It'd be a Roman or a Rock. Those are the only 3. That's it. That's it. Not Seth. He wouldn't be able to do it. Seth and Becky combo together may do a little something, maybe a little tiny splash, but not really, really moving.
I think Becky, if she was to go, it would be so unexpected, and it would probably generate a little bit of buzz for,
Yeah, a little bit of buzz.
but I
Yeah.
don't know how long it would stay there. Because right now, everybody on the internet, which are AEW fans, hate Becky, which we'll talk
Oh,
about.
they would love her if she went over there. Stop it.
Exactly. Tag team championship match. When we were making our picks last week, I don't think I said it, but I wanted to say that I thought Jack Perry was going to interfere. And when he did, I was like, God damn it. Why didn't I say that on the show?
I
Because
mean,
that
go
was the
ahead.
whole point of that fucking video they posted.
Yeah, I may have not said it, but even before our show last week, I was hearing it, but I didn't want to, just piggyback off of other people's thoughts and ideas. But I mean, you had to have it, or that video really wouldn't have made sense. Even though I still think they should have dropped it, but yes, they're trying to tie it up a little bit. But it's still a interesting game that they're playing by bringing that video up because people still probably a chance CM Punk, a guy who's not in your company, whenever Jack Perry appears on TV, like, which is pointless.
The Bucks get the tag titles again. Perry's basically in the elite.
Like, I don't get, I don't get it. Like, where are they going with this Perry being an elite and bringing up CM Punk videos? And I don't get,
I don't know.
where's the
I
end
hope
game?
I hope they have an idea because I don't fucking know. But I'm intrigued. This is a good story, and you know me, I love the story. So I'm ready. I've liked the Bucks since they came back with this
DVP.
gimmick. I don't like them, but I've enjoyed them on TV. But like I still can't stand them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But uh, they've been given a good story. Tony Storm's giving a good. Did you see her fucking post game press conference? Oh my god,
Mm-mm. I heard
she
her talking about something vile. I saw like one tiny clip. She's talking about something vile about. She compared somebody. I think she's talking about Nikki Bella coming in and she would do something to her. It was vile or
said
something.
a pussy scented candle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
There
There
was
you
that
go.
actress a couple years ago that made candles that smelled like her vagina.
Gwyneth Paltrow did that.
Was that Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah.
I think she was like talking about that, and because it's a little older, people didn't get it. But then she told Tony, she said, no matter how many times I finish my story, I'm never calling you in the ring to celebrate with me.
Oh, that's
Talk shit
hilarious.
about Cody at WrestleMania, and then
That's a playful jab though.
yeah, people were getting mad about that. I thought that was funny, like that fit her character. She talked shit about The Rock.
What'd she say?
She didn't like Sam. She said something about goosebumps and
No.
something else. Like why all y'all are talking about goosebumps and final levels and
Oh, snap.
theatrics and cinema. Go see a fucking movie. This is pro wrestling. Like, she was just going on, man. She's funny.
She's
She really
on one.
shout out to Juice Robinson.
Where is that guy? You know who he looks like? I was watching the Bray Wyatt documentary. Him and Bo look similar.
Well, they've both hit the female wrestling jackpot also.
Hey,
I
that
don't know if
ties it all together. What's that?
I don't know if Bo and Liv Morgan are still together. I hadn't heard about them in a while.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know.
That's why she's on a revenge tour. She no longer Bo leaves.
I see what you did there.
Your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland defeats Samoa Joe. A little bit of a mess up at the end of this match, but I still liked it.
What happened? I didn't see it in the arena.
Maybe I'm crazy, but it looked like when they were on the ropes, it looked like Swerve was trying to jump up and do the stomp on the Joe, like from the top rope, and they both went down, and he missed and kind of landed on his feet and then power bombed him. I could be wrong. That's the way I saw it. It looked like to me that's what they were setting up for, and some kind of way they covered it well though. Like him going and doing the power bomb, and then I thought he was a little bit too emotional before he did the fucking move. Like it's like, oh, he's about to win now. Like he took all the drama out of it when he's up there about to fucking cry before he jumps on him.
Hey man, couldn't hold it back.
Still
But
good. Good reaction.
yeah, man, that during the whole match, the whole arena was into it. The whole match, everybody was chanting whose house? Swerve's house. The Black Panther intro,
Yeah, it was dope.
they did it. They pulled the trigger. Some people were, doubting that they would. They thought they were going to stretch it out until Double or Nothing. That would have been a hard sell unless they had some type of extremely wonky finish that stretch it out one more time like that. But yeah,
Could have easily had Hangman come in and fuck him over.
true. But then you run him and Joe again. If Hangman is lingering over it, so I'm not mad that they pulled the trigger.
Oh,
I'm
no.
excited they pulled it. First black AEW World Champion. I
Probably the.
dig it.
I shouldn't say that because they've had injuries. From
What?
what I heard a while ago, like Tony had his first 3 or 4 champions booked like before the company even started. Once he started,
Man, what a nerd.
so I feel like Swerve was definitely a swerve from what the plan was when he got over. And then they kind of realized, kind of like when Swerve and Keith Lee were tag champions and the crowd wanted the Scissor Gang to win. And they ended up having to fucking pivot and go a different way. I think that's what they did here. I don't think Swerve's supposed to be world champion, but he just got so popular and so over that they had no fucking choice.
Yeah, definitely. He probably wasn't in the plans all in, all in time. But
Yeah,
then when he
he was
was
in a
that
coffin match. He's in a coffin match with Sting and Darby Allin.
exactly he wasn't in the world title plans, but then the stuff he was doing with Hangman, people loved it, and that's where the groundswell started happening, and he made himself undeniable.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a fucking plan.
How you mean?
This is so nerdy, but like, excuse me. Was this in the plan? Was it not? But if you remember, when he first came out and confronted Hangman, and he told Hangman, like, I'm coming for your spot. You haven't deserved what you got, blah, blah, blah. And he ended that by saying, I'm going to be the first black world champion in AEW. That shit might have went back to then. But maybe he was supposed to win as a heel instead of a face, and that's why it's taking a little longer. So
Yeah.
he kind of deviate from it. But that first interaction with him and Hangman, and he put Hangman's ass on notice and like told him, like, you're just in the fucking way. Like, they give you every opportunity and you ain't doing shit with it. So I'm about to take your spot. And that's how that whole feud started.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you may be right, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, they probably didn't expect. He probably wasn't in the plan, like signing him. He probably wasn't in the plan of being a world champion in the company.
I mean, yeah, you had injuries too. Like MJF got hurt, Adam Cole got hurt. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
However, which way direction he took to get there, at least he's there, and I'm all for it.
I'm excited to see him tomorrow with the title.
Did anything? Because I heard they had it on a good bit. I was probably there like 3 minutes during the celebration, and had to take off to try to get out of it. Did they have any feud set up after the celebration or anything?
A feud?
Yeah, did like anybody come out?
No, not that I saw.
Okay.
He celebrated with the crowd, him and Nana, and then fade to black. And then next thing you know, the I fell asleep watching the press conference at the end.
Mhm. So it's probably got to be Hangman and him at Double or Nothing, right?
I mean, I would think Joe gets a rematch
Why?
because he's fucking champion.
I don't even think that was a thing in AEW, automatic rematches.
Why would Hangman get a match with him though? Just because they don't like each other?
Yeah,
Hangman just tapped out the last time we saw him on TV.
true. But if if Hangman doesn't get a shot, then they need to do number one contendership. I don't want Joe just to get a rematch just for the sake of it. Not like he was some long reigning champion or anything like that. Not Roman.
He's Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but I don't need to see that again at Double or Nothing. We already know who's gonna win. No
That wraps
disrespect to Joe either.
that wraps up AEW Dynasty. Any other notes you want to hit before we get out of here? Before we get out of here, before we move on, because you were in the house.
No, we touched on everything. Like I said, exciting atmosphere, and hopefully they can carry it into the MGM. I like how they went back to the MGM for Double or Nothing, and they not in T-Mobile. T-Mobile is too big. So.
Fuck T-Mobile.
Oh yeah, you was just there.
Yeah, assholes.
Oh yeah,
Is MGM bigger than T-Mobile or smaller than T-Mobile?
yeah. MGM is like 12, 14.
That's so crazy. That's inside of a
Yeah,
hotel.
and it's inside a hotel. That is
You
crazy.
ever been inside MGM Grand?
Yeah, I've had a hotel room there.
Yeah, it's like a fucking mall when you go downstairs, like
It is, yeah.
through the back way or whatever, through the casino and then come out. Like that place. I tell you what, you walk around there drunk and don't know where you're going, you will not find your room. I've done it. You look up and you're down there at fucking Dolce and Gabbana somewhere, like
Yeah,
looking at mannequins.
yeah, man. It's Vegas.
Those places, Vegas is crazy, just how huge all those places are.
Yeah,
They're like,
inside, like you never expected, like you said.
instead of building condos and apartment complexes and shit, we're just gonna build these big fucking hotels, 1,000 rooms, and then just like, and it's always so many people there. No matter when you go, it's just like millions of people there.
Worldwide attraction, baby.
It's crazy. Um, let's go ahead and go hit street clothes wrestler of the week.
You went first last time. I think this is the first in street clothes wrestler of the week. Somebody that wins 2 weeks in a row, but I got to give it to the CEO again, Mercedes Monet.
I was gonna pick her. She was
Well,
killing the game. She got to get a new dance though. God damn! Like I'm so sick of her doing that shit. CEO, see,
nah,
put
you,
some wrestling boots on.
you killed the mood. I was about to give her another compliment, and you
Oh,
took it
I'm
the
sorry.
other direction. Nah, I can't even remember what I was gonna say. Hey, get another dance, Mercedes.
You know who I'm gonna put? I'll put my boy Solo, street clothes wrestler of the week.
Have a suit and a chain on.
Solo switched the whole vibe up. I was like, he don't even look menacing.
Yeah, man, I'm intrigued to see where they go with that one. Is it The Rock behind the moves or Solo going rogue? Who knows?
What if it's Paul Heyman going rogue?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
What if Paul Heyman's the one having Solo do all this and he's just acting like Solo's out of control?
That'd be a good twist.
Yeah, and then you have because The Rock ain't gonna be back for a while. So you got Solo, you got Tamatanga. They might bring in Jacob Fatu, something
Everybody keeps bringing him up. Is he signed? Like, why does everybody keep talking about Fatu?
because he's a free agent.
Okay, so there hasn't been any spoilers that he already signed.
Not that I know of, but I do know he was a free agent. He could have signed somewhere else, but and they probably keeping him off TV long enough to get him fucking acclimated. Like Tamatanga doesn't need NXT. Jacob Fatu might need a little bit more training, but they could do that shit off of TV.
Yeah.
It could be why they're doing that. So you have them three versus fucking Roman and the original Bloodline fucking get back together as baby faces. And right when Roman and Jay and Jimmy think they won, here comes The Rock.
And he's lining himself up with the young boys.
Yeah.
I'm not
Losing
even
has
mad at that.
consequences, EJ. The Rock didn't lose. Roman lost.
For V, I don't know if The Rock wants to get into a cage, but 4v4 Survivor Series, maybe have a little mini Sammy reunion.
I think it'll be 3 versus 3.
All right. So The Rock, you said The Rock won't get in that if they do bring Jacob Fatu in.
Ain't getting in fucking no cage. Motherfucker 52 years old.
Okay, but the have a counter argument against that. Is it a really like an old school cage match? The cage is basically a prop. They don't really use it.
It's still a fucking cage. Matt Rock ain't doing that shit.
Why not? They don't use the cage as like a weapon anymore. You could hide them in a cage match and not have them do anything crazy.
Maybe, but he also has Hollywood contracts too. He's like, all right, so boom, check it out. This is match I'm gonna do. It's called War Games. They're gonna be like, wait a minute. I remember seeing Dusty Rhodes bleeding like a motherfucker in War Games, but he's like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. They're like, nah, we're good. You got to come back and film in November or in December. We don't need you with a big ass gash on your forehead.
The only time I can recall them doing 3-on-3 war games is when they did NWO White and Black versus WCW versus NWO Red and Black.
Look at the memory on this motherfucker.
I don't know how it worked just straight up 6 people, but I guess you could make it work.
Fucking Bloodline versus Bloodline Original versus Sammy KO and Cody.
There you go. That'd be dope. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see where they go. Like you said, they got some time in between when The Rock comes back, so they got some storytelling that they need to do in between. And like he says, Solo is slowly but surely inserting himself in a more vocal role. So let's see what they do with that.
Speaking of SmackDown, new SmackDown tag team titles, EJ.
I dig it, man. They look like the old school back when we grew up with in the Attitude Era. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
I I love them. I like the Raw ones. I love the SmackDown titles. Um,
The Raw is still growing on me. I think that they look dope, but
yeah,
it looked like a mini world title. I know that was the point, but still, the round shape of it, you don't really see. I guess they had the penny titles were round shape too.
the Raw titles aren't bad. I
They're
just
not
like,
bad.
yeah, I just like the SmackDown titles better. It's not like the Raws are like, ew, get those off my TV. They're not as good as the SmackDown titles, but the Raw ones do. They're a fucking way big improvement over what they've had the past 10 years.
Definitely, yeah. And and then when I was thinking about it, like,
Street clothes, Fallon Henley,
oh yeah, we got NXT.
leader in the clubhouse for next week. Oh
um,
shit, Dana Parker showed up in street. Oh boy, let me stop. Okay, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening.
So I get why they separated them, but is the roster deep enough where you need two belts, tag team belts?
I feel like they needed to. If
Why?
they're the rosters are deep enough for two titles on each show. If they're really separating everybody with this new draft coming up, this is Triple H's first draft by himself. So I think if he's actually going to have everything separated, then yeah, I think they could do it. They can form tag teams.
That's what they probably need to do. I feel like the tag team side on SmackDown is a little bit more heavy. Now that DIY lost, I'm like, who else does Raw have left?
New Day.
I love the New Day historically as a tag team, but it's just not hitting the same for me without Big E.
Judgment Day.
They're not. I feel like they're already starting to show the rumblings of them going their separate ways.
I can see JD
Dom,
and in the tag title. You put a title on Dominic to fucking create that heat again.
maybe, but yeah, this draft is definitely needed for them to shake it up. Maybe put LWO on Raw, diversify the tag team because I feel like SmackDown has the more plethora of talent over their tag team division.
Speaking of Judgment Day, I just have to do this.
By the way, how mommy doing? Tell her I said.
Jay was wild for that. Jay Uso last night, that's the Jay Uso I like.
He was on one, man.
Yeah, I don't need the yeet every 3 seconds. Let the crowd do that. If you want to do your cadence to it, like I just talked about this last week, that I think he was leaning into it too much. And now I feel like that was the perfect kind of promo for him. I need to put like a Yeeto meter on when he comes on TV. If he stays below five yeets, his promo is gonna be good. If he goes over five, I'm gonna be annoyed by it. But Jay was good last night. So was Damian Priest. I thought Damian Priest did good last night too.
Yeah, he's starting to be more believable as a world champion because before he cast in, I couldn't see it at all. But he's
He's
a heel
basically.
champion.
Did you see when he ran out and he choke slammed who the fuck were they fighting? He choke slammed Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
He starts yelling at Dom in Spanish.
Yeah,
JD said, "What did he say?" And Dom
yeah.
said, "It's not good."
I didn't hear Dom's part. I heard JD say what did he say.
Dom said it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And he's like, "I'll tell you what I said." And if you noticed, Priest didn't have on a Judgment Day shirt. He had on a Damian Priest shirt. That motherfucker leaving.
And then what? So usually when somebody leaves, somebody turns face and somebody turns heel. You can't turn Dom face. And I don't see Damian Priest as a viable face. And I like the juxtaposition of having one heel world champion and the other one's a face. So yeah, I don't get where they're gonna go with this one.
I mean, if they're two separate companies, Does it matter if one's heel and one's face?
I mean, it doesn't, but I don't think fans gonna cheer Damien like that if they. But the way he's acting, he's not act like a face. He's act like an asshole.
Yeah, but you still don't like Dominic, especially once him and Liv hook up.
You think fans won't like that?
Oh, I think fans are gonna hate it because they're fucking over mommy.
But I don't think that's gonna be Damien's main storyline though. Is once he goes off on his own. I think, like you said, he's got this thing going on with Jay, and then who did he attack? Ricochet too. He attacked Ricochet and Andrade. Maybe they're setting up something for that. I don't know where they're going.
Jay's gonna beat him at Backlash.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
This is what I want to happen, which means it won't. I want Jay to beat. I'm sorry. I want Jay to get drafted to SmackDown.
Hmm.
Keep the whole bloodline on SmackDown. Draft Jay over there. Bring Cody back.
The
Maybe
Raw SmackDown.
to Raw. Maybe even bring Priest to because Raw's going to Netflix. So
Mhm.
have Cody on Raw where he's on Netflix as the champion.
Mhm.
Jay could stay on, or the world champion can stay on the USA Network on SmackDown. Maybe even draft Priest, but then have Jay beat Priest and Solo end up taking the title from him. And that's how Solo gets his power. And then Roman's got to come back and fucking fix it.
I think that would be good. Like you said, now that USA is getting SmackDown, you don't have to have that pressure of Fox on network TV. And I think you're right. I think Cody's gonna be on Raw when they do the draft, and World Title's going to SmackDown. I wouldn't mind that, but I don't know if they're gonna have him only have that world title for a month. If it doesn't happen at Backlash, maybe it could happen at a pay per view in the future.
Drew McIntyre had 5 minutes.
That's different.
Uh,
How about Drew with the smoke for shaming? He said, "Everybody calling you fat." I didn't say it. Everybody else was saying it.
you know what, man? Drew McIntyre, like, this is the most relatable I've ever thought he's been these last few months. Like, everybody's got that friend that people talk shit about, and you got to stand up for him. And they're like, but I don't care. It's like, but you should. I ain't gonna let people talk shit about you. You're my guy.
Yeah. But he was an asshole about it. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was an asshole. I think he was just telling them, like, this is what people saying about your ass, and I'm defending you. And you come out here talking shit to me, fat boy.
that's, that's almost like dry snitching though. I don't know who shot me, but they were I don't know who shot me, but they were throwing up the diamond when they did it.
No, but I mean, it's your boy though. You like, look, man, I was at catering, Chad Gable was talking all kind of shit about you. So I told Chad to shut the fuck up, but you need to handle that.
Yeah, it's like backhanded.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Drew is an asshole, but I still relate to him.
Maybe that's saying something. He said he's an asshole and you relate to
Paint the picture for me, EJ. What are you trying to say?
nothing. What's next?
We have a new WWE Women's World Champion.
Yes, sir.
The man, Becky Lynch, who's getting all kind of hate from the Liv Morgan stands online. People wishing ill things to her kids. They're calling her Becky Hogan, saying she refuses to put other people over.
That'll be it. Just fine. You don't know how much I was sweating like a whore in church when they eliminated Nia Jax. I said something in the Discord. I'm like, no. So I thought they were gonna do the unthinkable. And
EJ,
when Becky hit that, when she hit that code breaker on her.
yeah, no, she hit the rock bottom on her, the manhandle slam.
Oh yeah. Liv was the one that hit the code breaker.
Liv
That's what I thought was
Liv
over.
went for the code breaker, then she was going for the oblivion, and Becky countered it to the manhandle slam. But two things. One, people online are so stupid. One guy tweeted, like, Becky won't even put over people like Rhea. Charlotte put Rhea over. Somebody was like,
About?
bitch, she just put Rhea at WrestleMania like 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? and I got caught up in a couple of them, but
This is strictly internet fodder because they were just booing the fuck out of Liv Morgan 2 weeks ago. Like, where is this coming from?
Liv Morgan got some stands, dog. She got some Taylor Swift type fans online.
Yeah, it's solely based on the internet right now. I hadn't seen it translate to the arena.
I mean, in the arena last night, they were chanting for Becky when she won, and the crowd fucking popped when Liv hit the floor. So
Yeah, like this is internet. Like, don't let the collective view out there. Don't let the internet fool you. That's not real life.
it's really not. I want you to do me a favor, EJ. When we get done with this, if you have time, I want you to go back to the last 2 minutes of that battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
Liv and Becky were inside the ring, and they both ended up outside the ring. Liv actually pulled Becky through the middle rope,
Mm-hmm.
and the referee's saying, "You got to get back in the ring." Like, he ain't saying it like where you can hear him, but he's saying it where you can hear him. Get back in the ring. She didn't go through the rope, and they just fucking ignored her. So the whole like drama of Liv trying to eliminate Becky wouldn't have fucking mattered because Becky didn't go over the top rope.
Mm. I have to go back and watch to see exactly what you're talking about.
I watched it today, as a matter of fact, because I went back to watch to see what the crowd reaction was.
I get what you're saying when they were doing that back and forth in
Yeah, the end of the
in the
match.
secret. She didn't. Oh, so she never went over the top rope in general.
No, Liv went over the top, right?
But Becky
Landed on
didn't.
the apron, and then Liv counted like a Becky move and grabbed Becky and pulled her through the rope. And the referee, when they were fighting at the end, kept saying, "You got to get back in the ring. Go back in the ring," because Becky never went over the top rope. So had Liv actually won, which I guess they just said, "Well, Liv ain't winning anyway. Who gives a?" Just did it. You know what I mean? But
So they
she pulled Becky through the rope, and the referee said like at
so
least 4 times, "Get back in the ring."
because they basically spoiled the finish. Then
I didn't catch it last night when I was
I didn't
watching.
catch it
I caught
either.
it today. Like I said, I just went back to see the pop or whatever because all the Liv stands were pissed off at Becky. So I'm like, am I crazy? Like, I thought the crowd liked Becky winning. So I went back and watched that. And in the middle of, I kept hearing the referee say, "Get back in the ring." And I'm like, why the fuck did he say that? I missed it both times actually. And then I rewound it again and I saw Liv grabs Becky by the hair and pulls her through the fucking middle rope. And they end up fighting on the outside of the apron.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch that too. But yeah, they definitely messed up on that one. But for all of these people in their basements that are Liv fans,
Talk to him.
why do you like her? You just like to look at her. You perv.
She is hot.
Yeah, I don't care if she's hot though.
Super hot though, EJ. She
I
ain't just like regular hot. Like, she's fine.
don't give a damn how hot she is. She's
We're
not.
talking about the basement people though, EJ.
Oh, yeah. You're speaking for them. Yeah,
Yeah,
role
yeah.
playing is them.
We're talking for the people that don't get to touch titties on a regular basis.
We just get to look at Liv Morgan all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, she,
Liv
you'll be
is
all
good.
right. You'll be all right.
I like Liv. I'm not a stan for Liv. I wanted her to win because she's a heel and she's gonna end up getting the title. Like,
But she's not a heel.
huh?
She's not a heel though.
She is though. That's why they were booing her.
No,
She
that's not
hurt
why they
Rhea
booing
Ripley.
her.
She jumped her and put her out of action. That's a heel thing.
No, she eye for eye. It was. I know Drew McIntyre's been playing justifiable heel, but she has not done like a full heel turn yet.
An eye for an eye is a heel move. A babyface turns the other cheek.
Only if you're white meat like Cody. When did Stone Cold ever
Exactly.
do an eye for not do an eye for an eye?
Stone Cold's not a regular babyface.
The Rock, he's gonna get his get back.
Rock ain't a regular babyface.
Even John Cena did some despicable things.
In the middle of a match, he wouldn't go and jump somebody from behind.
I don't know.
Look at Cody and Seth. We forget that Seth fucking jumped Cody the night after Hell in the Cell when he was giving his speech and put him out. And now look at them. They're best fucking buddies because Cody's a white meat babyface. Liv don't play that shit. She's a heel. Bitch, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you.
I will do a 180 on Liv when they clearly define her as a heel. I think that's exactly what she needs for me to get on her side, just for her to be a dastardly heel. Right now, she's like justified, and Rhea. I hurt Rhea because she hurt me. I just need to like be a heel against Becky, and I'll be all for it. It's almost like the. I know you're not a big Alexa Bliss fan. I hated her, and every time they try to make her baby face, I like the goddess, mean girl, just being.
Yeah, she just wasn't believable either way.
How the hell is Liv believable?
Liv's bigger than
No, they're both
Bliss.
tiny.
Oh, Alexa Bliss is less than 5 feet.
Maybe Liv is like 5'1".
I disagree.
4'11" against 5'1".
I think Liv is way more believable than Bliss was. Um, but I think Becky's gonna hold the title for a couple months. She's gonna feud with like Nia and maybe Shayna and people like that. And you got me saying Bliss. Liv's gonna have this thing with Dom in the Judgment Day more than likely, and she's gonna cheat to beat Becky. She's gonna think she's on top of the world, and then Rhea's gonna come back.
Yeah, I'm
That's
all
the
for it. Straight up heel
yeah.
Liv.
Honestly, if I'm a Liv fan, I didn't want her to win the title in a fucking battle royal. I want her to beat somebody to win the title. Like I'm a Becky guy. Becky's already had the title 6, 7 times, so she can win the battle royal, right? Liv's had the title for a cup of coffee. I think it'll be way bigger for Liv to beat Becky Lynch than to eliminate her in the battle royal.
I agree.
Think about it this way: you Liv Morgan, you got 2 world title reigns. You beat Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch to win your titles. 2/3 of the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. You pinned both them bitches.
Hopefully they'll let her pin Charlotte too.
We don't say that name around here.
Oh, Ashley Flair.
We definitely don't say that one.
Mrs. Idolo.
There you go. Miss Andrade. Oh my goodness. You got me all thrown off now. Brought up that name. Brought up Candyman. You say her name 5 times fast, 5 times in the mirror, she'll end up world champion. By the time you wake up the next day.
I wonder if she gets drafted or they just out of sight, out of mind.
We've been podcasting together too long. EJ. I was literally about to say, watch her get drafted and come back this weekend.
What if they draft her and not have her come back? They just
Draft
want
her
to do it just for the hell of it.
after the NXT.
You know that ain't happening.
Here's my thing. If they're doing draft and NXT people are eligible, shouldn't Raw and SmackDown people be eligible to get drafted to NXT?
Nah, that's like saying Ohio State could draft Aaron Rodgers.
Then how come Raw and SmackDown can draft NXT people?
Because they get the draft from the minor leagues.
Remember how good NXT was when Finn Balor went back? And
Yeah,
he
that
turned
was dope.
Piano and all them.
That was like during the pandemic.
Baron Corbin went down there.
Mm. I mean, I think they said NXT will draft people. I might be mistaken.
Yeah, you could take some people like
Natty. Just have her there permanently.
sure. I was thinking, I was thinking somebody of more prominence that's like, but yeah, Natty would be a good fit. Like she's a veteran. She's a fucking, you know, Hall of Famer. We don't like to say it, but she is.
Shinsuke would be a good like draft back to
Yeah,
NXT.
that's a good one. Hell, Ricochet going back to NXT would be good.
Have him run the champion.
Yeah. Um, Chelsea Green.
I like her on the main roster. Like you said, that would have been something if they would have had her win the battle royal.
But Chelsea back down and win the NXT Women's title.
She could. You've come around on Chelsea a little bit.
Yeah, I have. I was wrong. You were right. Chelsea's dope.
That'll be me with Liv once they turn her full out heel.
Karen Green.
Hey, hopefully her husband has a speedy recovery. I heard he ripped his
Or it's
pec or
like
something.
Peck or something, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Same shit Cody did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be fine. lifting all them weights.
Lay off the weights, Cardona.
Wasn't there a TNA pay per view this week too? Yeah.
It was Rebellion.
Matter of fact,
Was that?
I watched it.
I watched it too.
I was cheering for Steph DeLander to win the women's title and fucking PC. I didn't realize she was that fucking big.
She's like 6 foot.
She was eye to eye with PCO.
Yeah, she's 6 foot. What was her name in NXT? Peralta or something? Asia Peralta or something like that? I'm making something up.
Honestly, I had no idea who she was in NXT.
She was Indy Hartwell's friend there.
Yeah, you said that, but I don't remember that. You said that last week.
Yeah. Either way, I know she wasn't beating the Juggernaut.
Some people, I thought she was gonna be there.
Nah.
Really, like more fit for the Indies.
I think because Trinity left a big void in the company, her leaving. I think they probably want to set up like a Masha, like somebody younger to maybe beat Juggernaut.
Just a tag team with a new chick.
How they broke up?
No, not Killer Kelly.
Oh, what?
Yeah, her and Killer Kelly aren't together anymore.
I know that, but I didn't know she formed another tag team.
Tag team with somebody else.
Oh, damn.
So maybe it's Killer Kelly that's gonna. Like, Killer Kelly's been learning moves from Myron Reed.
Whoa. I don't blame him.
Them boys, them boys and the Rascals, they got the juice.
Yeah. It need to be sponsored by Tropicana.
They need to do a seminar or something. Like, how to? Because God almighty.
Shout out to Rascals.
If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're listening to this, just Google the members of the Rascals and then Google who their significant others are.
You're welcome.
One of their significant others was on our show.
Yeah. Go back and watch that interview.
Steph DeLander,
go ahead.
Jordan Grace,
Mhm.
all the outside interference. Moose retains his title, and then broken Matt Hardy shows up and tries to do the delete chant, and not a motherfucker in there did it with him.
Yeah, it was good when they initially did it. Like that's when I started dipping my toes back in the wrestling world. I was intrigued, but I'm like, what's going on? They had the cinematic type of things. They're probably the first one to really do the cinematic things, but that ship is sailed. That was 8 years ago almost now. I feel like it was dead in the water when WWE didn't like treat it as I thought they should have, and he shouldn't have brought it to AEW. They tried to pivot from it and turn him back into big money Matt with Private Party, and I know that he was a free agent, but I thought I was just that maybe he was gonna see what was out there and go back to AEW, but I guess TNA was gonna show him the bag. I don't know where that puts Jeff at. Like I thought they were gonna maybe try to pivot towards doing another 3D team 3D or Dudley's and Edge and Christian and Hardy's in AEW, but I guess not.
That original broken Matt Hardy in TNA was so good. Like I remember he did JR's podcast and he was in character the whole time. And JR was just like JR was getting so frustrated with
I listened to it when he was on Jericho's podcast when he first did it. And he was calling people spot monkeys. I'm like, this guy's out of his mind.
He said when he was naming the other companies he could go to, he said, I could go and wrestle in the honorable ring or maybe even subterranean lucha.
I forgot what he called WWE.
I don't remember.
He called Vince something though.
Subterranean lucha had me fucking dying when he said that shit.
Or he's like a McMahon or something like that. He said his name weird. I forgot.
Jada Parker got the crowd hype. She's out there with what's the sommelier? He's a thug now.
Scripps, Reggie.
Scripps. She's out there.
Apparently he really wasn't a gang growing up. I guess they try to put that in his character on TV, which is kind of ignorant of them to do, but whatever.
We're about to get Jada Parker versus Fallon Henley.
That's your dream match.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, I could think of a really good triple threat with those two in it though.
I'm gonna have to say that for a different show.
Somebody had a Jada Parker. What is that game? The game where you run around and you steal cars and like fuck hookers and stuff.
GTA.
Yeah, they had a GTA like Jada Parker. It was her doing her little pose, and it was like an animated thing, and it had her name under it where Jada Parker, where the GTA font would go. That was
Yeah,
a dope
that's
song.
it's that's what the group she's in. OTM. They got they're based on GTA. If you look at the entrance and stuff.
Really, I
Yeah.
never. I don't know. And they got my girl Fallon Henley coming out during the commercial break, the split screen. Tragic. Well, I guess I met you for Jada Parker.
Uh, did we hit power rankings yet?
We have not. We talked new women's world champion. We were going over the TNA stuff. If nothing else is like important for TNA, we can move on. But Moose retained the title. Jordan Grace retained her title. Um, was there a tag title match? I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Yeah, the system defended it over Speedball Mountain,
Speedball Mountain.
Trent Seven, and Mike Bailey.
Just a stupid
That sounds like a good time in Vegas.
name. Is that before or after the brothel in Top Golf? Like,
Maybe both, before and after.
oh my goodness. Mustafa Ali and Jake something. Then you had Jody Threats, tag team champion. Damn, I
Yeah,
gotta.
her and girl from forgot the name of that tag team she was in. Australian girl. Can't remember the name off the top of my head.
They're still tag team champions. Laredo Kid is now the digital media champion.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that must have been on a pre-show. I didn't see that.
He beat Crazy Steve.
Huh, interesting.
The Moose.
Yeah, it was decent.
It was a decent pay per view. I was in and out of it. I was trying to find my IPTV stuff. And by the way, I'm moving,
Hmm.
and my complex that I have now, my internet and cable bill is $85 a month for both. It's really good, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't get the fucking deal that comes with the apartment complex now that I'm moving. So now my internet by itself is $65 and they wanted $80 for cable. I was like, looks like I'm going the IPTV route.
I didn't know it. Yeah, you had cable.
Yeah, I got stream cable. I don't have
Mm.
DVD thing, but I have, regular cable. I got the Xfinity app. I can watch it on my Fire Stick and all that.
Well,
I
nice.
watch football, like sports and stuff with. I just don't trust the IPTV.
Mm.
I guess I don't have a choice now.
Yeah, if you have good internet and the Fire Stick, you should be good.
Well, I got so the internet I'm paying for is gonna have 1,000 Mbps, and I get free Peacock Premium for 24 months.
Oh, that's dope. You get to watch more Bel Air.
I can cancel my because I pay for Peacock Premium.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
pay like $5 for it because it comes free with Xfinity. But $5 more I get premium, so I don't have the commercials. So I've been paying for that, but now I don't have to. So with the money I save on that, I can get Netflix now to watch Raw.
hey, win-win situation. I need to find. I don't need to find it. I'm just too lazy to try to figure it out. After the first year of my internet, I was locked in at like $40 a month the first year, and then they hiked it up. They doubled it, basically paying 80. I need to find somebody else, but I
Who's
don't know
your
if I
internet?
feel like hassling with it. But I guess it is what it is.
Who's your internet with? Is it like a big company?
Yeah, it's like the main company around here, MediaCom. Fuck them though.
Yeah, I used to back when DirecTV had Sunday Ticket, every year in the preseason I'd call and be like, so y'all are offering free Sunday Ticket to every customer. I've been with y'all for like 10 years. And they'd be like, well, we can't give it to you because you're not a new customer. I'd be like, well, cool. I want to cancel my service. And they'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And
Uh,
I think the most I paid for it was like 30 extra dollars a month. And it was like a couple hundred you were supposed to pay or something like that. But I got it for free so many times.
hey,
Uh,
not
the,
getting away with that with YouTube. I don't even know if you have a number that you could call in.
I got a guy. I didn't tell you what I did last year.
Uh-uh.
I had because you used to get on eBay and buy the subscription
Mm-hmm.
there. Well, I found a guy that could verify you as a college student,
Oh yeah, I remember you told me.
college email, and it was like more than half off. So I think I paid like $160 for NFL. But with IPTV, you really don't need it, I guess, if it works.
Yeah, like I used to do that because the eBay subscriptions went away. Now they went to YouTube. I found the site. I think it was cheaper, but I didn't really trust it, and so I just depended on my IPTV this season, and I had no problem because they have. If you go to like the local section, they'll have like a bunch of different channels from different markets all over the country. But they do have an NFL section, which usually works too. But if for some reason that's messing up, just go to the local channels and you find it. You find the game.
Yeah, I guess I just got to. I'm just the old school. I like to watch it on TV, but I guess like, and then people like to talk shit to me when the Cowboys are losing, so my phone will start going off, and usually IPTV
A little
stuff
bit
is
behind.
45 seconds behind.
Mm.
So when all of a sudden my phone starts lighting up, I'm like, "Fuck, what's about to happen?"
I just don't pay attention to my phone in the game
Yeah,
like that.
I guess I gotta figure it out this year, but it'll save me some money by not going and buying Sunday Ticket.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I
But
usually, if it's not a Cowboy game, I always watching Red Zone anyway.
yeah, I pretty much watch Red Zone too. But I like to watch the Cowboys, and the Cowboys usually play on national TV.
Yeah.
The couple games a year they don't. Maybe I'll just if I can't find it on if I can't find it on IPTV, maybe I'll just go to the bar. Like where I'm moving to is there's a lot of shit around there. I'm not moving into the city of Atlanta, but my address will actually be Atlanta now.
Or
Yeah.
is that a first?
Yeah, I've never had an address in Atlanta. I've always lived in Metro Atlanta, Kennesaw, Cartersville, Ackworth, Marietta. I'll actually have an Atlanta address.
Oh,
ATL ho.
yeah. Moving into uncharted waters. Let's
Right.
go.
Come outside like, where the fuck is Outcast?
Where Goody Bob at?
I thought
T.I.
Andre 3000 supposed to be coming out here to check his mail. What's happening?
Shout
Complex
out to
on-
ATL.
I told you about the dog thing, right? In the
Uh-uh.
complex.
Oh yeah, they fine you for if they poop.
Yeah, this shit's crazy. We got our own little coffee shop on site that's open to the public, but on the weekends it's only for the residents. So people come there because apparently it's a really good coffee shop. And people come there from outside, but on the weekends it's just for us.
Oh word.
Yeah.
No, you're a big coffee guy. I'm not never been a really big coffee person. I have one every blue moon.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm to the age now. I have coffee every morning.
Yeah. And
I literally before I go to bed at night, I set my coffee maker to go off at about the time I wake up. That way, when it's time for me to leave, I can just pour my coffee and go.
my parents were never, maybe that's why, because my parents were never coffee people. My mom started drinking it when she started working nights later on when I was already like in middle of high school. But my parents, that's the only time she'll drink it with working night shift. She's not a morning coffee person. My parents, maybe that's why I'm not a coffee person like that.
I started drinking coffee probably 5 years ago.
Oh, so you're a more recent coffee drinker then.
And I don't think it like wakes me up or gets me going. I think it's just like a habit. I think it's a
Mm.
habitual thing now, and it's like it's a comfort thing in the morning. Like I'm on my way to work and I'm just sipping my coffee. By the time I get there, I've finished it. And then like as soon as I get to work, I gotta go shit now because I just had coffee. So I'm like
That
lighter throughout the day.
that's the only way it affects me. Like as far as like caffeine doesn't really affect me like that.
Yeah.
Like if I drink a cup of coffee before bed, my ass will still be passed out.
Yeah. Coffee doesn't do me like that either. Like I have to if I want to get a wake up, I'll drink a Zoa or something like that, like an energy drink. But coffee is just like a it's just a warm, good drink for in the morning. Even in the summertime, obviously I drink iced coffee, but when it's cold outside and like and I work outside, so coffee's good. Like warms your body up to me anyway. But
When it
I
gets
can
a whole whopping 59 degrees in Atlanta in the winter.
crazy. It's like 20 something degrees here.
Yeah, I was just messing with you. It can get a little cold in Atlanta, but it ain't like the Midwest though.
Oh, I know. I used to live there. Hey, it does get cold as shit here though. Like below freezing temperatures all the time.
It ain't like Kansas City like you grew up in.
Like 43 degrees in the morning right now.
Yeah, it's about that right now here in the morning.
Speaking of Kansas City, EJ, Monday Night Raw will be in Kansas City next week. You going?
Absolutely not. This dynasty was this dynasty was my last rodeo. I think this dynasty is the last one I go at least this year.
Really?
I counted it. It's nine. I've been to 9 shows this year. It's too
God
much.
damn.
It's too much.
9 shows?
Yeah, I did the calculation. I said I can't miss Danielson and Osprey, so this is my last ride. I saw that Raw's gonna be in Kansas City. I'm like, nope. Maybe our boy Devin will be there, but like absolutely not. I went
Man,
to I
good
went to
though.
two collisions. I went to Raw. That's three. Uh, Revolution 4. 2 nights of WrestleMania 5, 6. ROH 7. NXT Takeover 8, and then Dynasty 9.
Man, you've been killing it this year.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Way
I
more
watched
shit than I have.
yeah, so I'll watch Raw on TV. That's it for me this year. And I'm going to UFC will be in St. Louis. So I'll go to that, but that's not wrestling.
I think I've gone to I've been to two dynamites this year. A collision, revolution. I don't think I've traveled for anything else. Revolution is the only one I traveled for this year that I remember. I have to look through my pictures. But yeah, I think I've only done four. I think I may have done a Raw. There was Raw, Monday Night Raw that was here.
Not this year though, right? I don't remember you talking about going to Raw this year. That
I,
was last year, right?
I thought Raw was this year. What month are we in? Yeah, I think you're right. That was last year. So I've been to four. Damn, you've done 9 shows in 4 months.
Yeah. Even
I think
though
I think
I did 4 WrestleMania weekend, which is kind of a cheat code, but still, it's still way too many.
it's a lot of fucking wrestling.
So I will not be attending Kansas City, but I hope they have a good time. I'll be watching on TV. Like I said, I'm sure our boy Devin will be there. And my son.
All right, EJ, let's hit these. We've been bullshitting for the last 15 minutes. Let's hit these power rankings. Get up out of here. I wanted to try to keep the show around an hour and a half, and then we've
It
been
never
fucking talking bullshit for 15 minutes.
it never happens, but it is what it is. More content for the listeners.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out real quick before I forget. Brian from the Legendary Wrestling Figures podcast had me on Friday of last week and posted the episode. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to him. Shout out to Fully Posable. Drew Venzel, you need to fucking claim your prize. I'm trying to send this shit out this week, bud. He hadn't claimed his prize yet from WrestleMania T-shirt week.
Hey,
Um,
better claim it or we won't have to give it away to somebody else.
so EJ Brian does a Andre the Giant impersonation,
Mm-hmm.
and he has his guests pick a karaoke song for Andre the Giant to sing. So I picked Meg the Stallion Savage. It's so fucking funny. He's in his fucking Andre the Giant voice trying to sing along to Savage is great.
Hey, I definitely gotta check that out.
But But yeah, it's about an hour, hour and 10 minutes. I think it ain't too hard of a listen. I don't think. But let's get the power rankings, EJ. I don't remember who went first last week.
Hmm, I can't recall either. I think whatever we did, I think you had maybe had the number one last. I can't remember. These weeks
All right,
running each
I'll,
other.
I'll go first this week. And this is gonna sound crazy, but there was no title involved in this match. So number 5, though he had the best match of the week, Will Osprey.
Hmm. That's spoiler alert, that's definitely a lot lower than what he is on my list, but I
I
gotta
was gonna
respect it.
put him at number 1, but I was looking at the rest of my list because I actually wrote it down this week,
Mm.
and it's like everybody else has either won a title or kept their title. Like I can't do that. He ain't even a champion.
This might be a first on the show since I've been on it. We both write it down. The one time like I didn't write it down, you actually wrote it down. Like the couple times I didn't write it down. But
I only got a big ass head.
huh?
JD McDonough got a big ass
Hey,
head. I thought
yeah,
I
he
had a
does.
big ass head. That boy got a big ass head.
Yeah, he does. Number 5 for me, your new trios champion, Bang Bang. Well, yeah, they're just the Bang Bang, no Scissor Gang now. The Bang Bang Gang,
You
Bullet Club
undisputed.
Gold. Yeah, undisputed. And I'm
I was
curious to see
really,
what they do with it.
I was really hoping that the Scissor Gang won, so the Ass Boys could go back to being a tag team. But whatever.
Nah, I think it's time for uh a claim to do some refreshing and go back to the drawing board, you know, see what they could do. But when is Juice coming back? That's what I want to know. The boy been hurt forever. He added a good element to the group, but I don't want to get too far off topic. My number 4 is your new TBS champion, Miss Willow Nightingale, beating Julia Hart to become the new TBS champion. And I like how they've organically built her because I didn't know who she was. And then slowly but surely, she just got over just being bubbly her and being able to put on a good match. So shout out to Willow.
Completely agreed. AEW's done a really good job of building her up from somebody that, and there's a history of them doing it. Like Orange Cassidy, I had no idea who that guy was. Like probably 50% of the people that I like in AEW, I didn't know who they were, but they've done a really good job really fast with Willow. And she's probably one of my favorite women's wrestlers going right now. If I had to pick like a top 5 to 10, she'd probably be in there.
Same.
My number 4, we just got done talking about her. Miss Willow Nightingale, new TBS Women's Champion, placeholder
For the
champ,
for the CEO.
CEO.
Like I said, but like you said, why don't they just your idea was to have somebody interfere with maybe that mixing your storylines up to have Jamie Hayter or something like does Mercedes really need the TBS championship?
I don't know why they have her going after that instead of the world title, but maybe they had bigger plans already for Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker to come back. And when she signed, they were like, "Look, you should have fucking signed earlier." She's like,
Yeah,
"What? One of the belts."
I don't know, but um, that's I guess it's a good thing when you don't know what direction they're going to. That means they got more than one thing going on in the women's division. So just keep building off of that.
You know what I like about Lola Vice? They
What's
don't
that?
to her like she's an MMA fighter, and they're not like, "Oh, she's an MMA fighter."
They still have her do her little dances and stuff.
Yeah, like Shayna Baszler and Sonya
Rhonda.
Deville and Ronda, like all these women that came from, or even like Steve Blackman and Matt Riddle, like all these people that came from MMA, that's their crutch. She's like, no, I'm fucking Cuban. I'm from Miami. Like I'm sexy as shit, and I can kick your fucking head off. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that better than her coming out with a fucking black belt on.
I think she'll probably work on the main roster. She's like she has the charisma. to work on the main roster.
She gets her ring work down better. She's gonna fucking kill it on the main roster.
You already know who I want to see in the main roster.
Daddy,
No, absolutely not. Ariana Grace.
that's your girl, huh?
Yeah, I think she's highly entertaining.
I'm a Jada Parker guy. I think when she gets it in the ring, like she's still got a lot of work to do, but she's got the look. She's got. You imagine Jada Parker and Jade standing across from each other, just fucking two statuesque like figures about to just beat the shit out of each other.
I'm not against Jada Parker. For some reason, she hasn't clicked for me quite there yet.
She's she definitely got a long ways to go, like in ring, but she's definitely got the look and the personality to get on the main roster. She just got to fucking get her ring work together.
Yeah. And if in NXT, they have like a plethora of women talent down there. So hey.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Number 3?
Uh-huh.
And still AEW Women's Champion. Chin up, tit up, and watch for the shoe. Tony Storm.
Timeless Tony Storm. Yeah, I don't know where they're going with her after this one. They haven't really set up
Bro.
maybe they go back to Deanna.
All right, so no spoilers. I was just talking to you about Lola Vice and not doing the uh, MMA thing. They're signing a contract right now. You're gonna laugh when you see what happens. That's all.
Yeah. Her and Natty or whatever with the NXT pit
That's all I'm gonna say.
underground. But yeah, that was your number 3. My number 3 is your new women's world champion. Thank goodness. Becky Lynch. Shout out to the man, Becky Lynch, for capturing this is her 7th world title. That's rarefied air right there, right?
She's getting up there. I mean, Charlotte's got like 17, but we won't count.
We're not supposed to say her name, remember?
Damn, I broke my own rule.
Uh, Number 2. I'm cheating this week, but I just can't. There was no loser in this match in my eyes. I got Osprey and Danielson tied at number 2 for that banger match. I'm curious to see how many stars Dave Meltzer gives. You know how much of a mark he is. He'd probably give it 8 stars.
He
But
said that was the greatest American wrestling match he's ever seen.
he's probably. I wonder if he had tissues afterwards. Come on, man. But it was a hell of a match to see in person. I'm glad that was the main reason I went to see this show live because I wanted to see that person just to be a part of that. So that's my number 2.
Still your turn or mine?
That's your turn.
And I'm at what pick am I at?
Should be at 2 and 1, right?
Yep, you're right. Number 2, your new WWE Women's World, I almost said heavyweight champion, the man Becky Lynch, number 7. 7 times she's been the champ. You just talked about her winning and all that, so I won't get too deep into that. My number 1, I mean, can we go any other place but your first ever black AEW World Heavyweight Champion defeating Samoa Joe in also a really good match. We talked about this during Revolution. We were kind of upset that Swerve didn't win. And I can't remember if it was me or you that said it's a good thing that he didn't because they weren't the main event and he wouldn't have been the main topic of the show.
Yeah, I said that.
He still wasn't really the main topic of this show, but he was definitely way more the topic than what he would have been during Sting's last match. So I think it was a good thing for them to have Hangman tap out and then have him work his way to get this one.
I get what you're saying, but when you got Osprey, I think you can say that for any show that Osprey's on, you gotta eventually definitely not the Sting have Sting overshadow it, but unless you put Osprey against like Hook, like people gonna say that for any match, Osprey overshadow it because Right now, I think he's the best in-ring guy in the world. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, that style, but I think he's the best in-ring. So you got to put him on first, I guess. Maybe people would not have said that. But anyway, you put Osprey on the card, so I think you had to pull the trigger. So I'm fine with it. I mean, there's nothing else to be said. Your number one is my number one.
I was about to say you're gonna pick, but wait, it is nothing else to be said. How about AJ Styles becoming number one contender for Cody Rhodes' undisputed title?
Yeah,
Like,
we talked about that, right? Last week.
no, it just happened Friday.
Oh, I think we talked about him winning that initial match.
LA Knight fucking LA Knight, like, look how fucking fucked this guy gets. He beats AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Then they have another match and AJ Styles wins, and now AJ Styles gets a title match and LA Knight's just standing there with his dick in his hands.
I hate 50-50 booking, but you can't have LA Knight go against Cody. So I'm fine with it. That's a good feud to kick off Cody's run. And I think they need to separate Cody and LA Knight, because I know you're an LA Knight fan, but he's still one of the most, especially with The Rock gone now, he's one of the most over guys on the roster still.
He's gonna come out with a shirt that says "Final Boss" on now.
Yeah. The last boss, offshoot of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
put LA Knight on SmackDown and put Cody on Raw, and then have LA Knight chase at the world title. But it was a fun fact I saw on Facebook. I think LA Knight, I mean not LA Knight, AJ Styles will have faced Dusty, and he'll be facing Cody. So father and son.
Pretty sure he's faced Dustin too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Everybody's faced Dustin.
Um, I don't think LA Knight's a big enough star where you got to avoid having him on the same show as Cody.
I think so, because now he's really not believable of being a potential title contender if you have him on the same show as Cody.
I think Jay Uso's bigger than LA Knight is, and they were on the same show, Cody and Jay.
I think it's comparable. LA Knight and Jay.
Yeah, but comparable or one's bigger than the other one. Like the point still stands. Jay was on the same show with Cody, and they didn't have a problem.
Yeah, when Cody wasn't champion, I'm saying now that Cody's champion.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think
Spread it out. Like, well, you don't need him and Cody on the same show. Spread it out. Why would you
LA
need them?
Knight's a nobody, a nothing, a peon, a jabroni. Like nobody cares.
Okay.
He got a
Still,
good catchphrase. Whoop de doo.
still selling merch. Still getting a huge pop out there. I don't know what else. I don't know what else more
You know
you
who else
want.
is selling merch? R-Truth. Can he not be on the same show as Cody?
He's not selling as much merch as LA Knight.
R-Truth was number one like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. I'm saying consistently LA Knight's at top 5.
That's because he gets like 17 different shirts.
Now you just pushing the goalpost back making excuses.
Is that not the truth? That's the
I
same
don't know how
reason.
many shirts that man has.
That's the same reason Cody sells so much merch, because every week he's got like 2 shirts coming out. They ain't had a new Becky Lynch shirt come out in years. Everything says the man on it.
All I'm saying is Cody, he's not defined. I guess technically he's a SmackDown, and next to Cody, LA Knight's the biggest person, the biggest baby face on SmackDown.
No, he's not. Roman is.
Roman's not. I mean, he would. I like that saying we were on Roman, but Roman's away. He's a part-timer. Talking
If
about full-time
Roman comes
guys.
back, LA Knight comes back, who's getting a bigger pop?
Well, now that Roman has this new story arc, of course he's gonna get the return pop is always big.
Be bigger than LA Knight.
And you're saying Roman, all-time one of the longest reigning champions. I'm slightly under Roman. Okay. It's not a diss. That's not a diss. Roman is
Way
Roman.
behind Roman.
I don't know.
He's a mid-carder.
Okay. That's how he plays off in your head. But I see how the fans still react, because I thought he was dead in the water too after the Royal Rumble, but fans still are behind him. So
Yeah.
the fans are with it. I'm with it.
It's because he's got a stupid catchphrase. You get rid of his catchphrase, he'll be Chris Jericho.
The Rock had catchphrases his whole career. Stone Cold, everybody has catchphrases.
He's got one catchphrase, right? You take his catchphrase away, that's like taking away Judas from Jericho.
Okay, that's like saying taking Seth's theme song.
Yeah. Seth will still be over though. LA Knight won't because he can't go in the ring like those guys can.
When have you been Mr. Ring Work? The storyline and promos.
All of my favorite wrestlers can go in the ring.
Can they though? Can Liv go like that? Really? She's okay.
Ain't one of my favorite wrestlers. Get out of here.
Can you know?
She just
Cody's good. Cody's good, but he's not.
He can go good enough to tell a
He's not
story.
Bret Hart in '95 or anything like that.
That was my guy too. I was Pink and Black Attack.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, not all your favorites are mat technicians.
Roman can go in the ring. Becky can go. Mickey can go.
Becky definitely could go.
Bianca can go.
Roman can go, but he still has that Roman style. Bianca, Bianca could go.
One of my guys, Booker T.
Now we're talking about historical people.
I'm just talking about my favorite people.
I don't know. We're going way off topic. Either way, I'm happy this draft is going. You gotta diversify the roster and put people where they need to be put.
All right, we're way over time. Let's go an hour and a half. You got anything you want to say before we get up out of here, EJ?
I don't need to add more to the time. I don't have nothing. Just thanks everybody for listening and stay tuned.
Well, it was a fun show, EJ. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the listeners. So until next week, we will be done with the WWE. We didn't even do our fucking fantasy draft we're supposed to do.
Yeah, it is what it is. There's a real draft coming.
We can send them to each other and put it on Twitter. But yeah, until next week, we'll be back same time, same place. Until then, peace.
Got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude.